So a bit about my background. I'm 34 at the moment. Just turned, a couple of years already our father. So I'm in a transition myself as a person as well. But if I reflect back on that previous experiences, then I think the relevant experiences here are basically the fact that, and actually they already go way back. You know that this is the funny thing about cleaning up your room. You get to, I'm not really good at throwing things away. Sorry, personal thing, but sort of it started. The amount of stuff started crashing. I really had to clean up. And then when I started cleaning up, I started to realize how long I was already committed to trying to work in improving my learning. And when I was, I think 12, I got into this student committee, and then trying to working with teachers to how can we improve it. And I continued that. I my bachelor's at the university. I did that as well. I was asked for an accreditation committee, so I was being able to sort of see other courses and studies actually in the Netherlands specifically here for very much detail. And then I continued doing my master's also. It was Master Sustainable Energy. It was just 3 years old, and we sort of made a 2.0 version. So we suggested new courses and how the whole thing should be happening. And the funny thing is that if I say it this way, it would have made so much sense that I took this next step. But when I was doing this, I wasn't so aware of that. I had always the drive to start a sustainable energy company, right? So this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to focus myself on sustainable energy. This is why I studied it. This is why this is what I've been doing. So I was looking for a company to start, or a problem to solve, or the problem that I wanted to solve, but a way to solve that climate change problem, right? That I was after, and somehow I felt into education and higher education, in this specific case, and later I started realizing, yeah, but wait a minute, that climate change problem that I tried to tackle, where does it come from? It comes from, there's not one person in this world that says, let's just mess up the climate and I don't care about the future and the future generations. There's no one here, but still we act like it. How comes? It's a system problem. It's a problem in which education actually, I think, is the only solution to work, because climate change is not the only sort of, in my opinion at least, not the only effect of this problem. There are more things to it. So if we really improve education and we make that better in what I just explained in what I think better education is, then we'll improve a couple of these problems at the same time. And I think there's a lot of need for it. So I sort of stumbled into education by my university at that point in time. I came up with all new ideas and how we should do that. And then they said, if you haven't been, I had a meeting with quite high up person that had some budget, and that told me, if you didn't go to the Chamber of Commerce in between this meeting and the next meeting we've planned, the next meeting will not continue. So this sort of forced me into entrepreneuring in edtech. I always like to sort of reflect on that like that. And that's how I got started. And then I just got addicted to it. And we're still very much at the beginning, if you would ask me. So that's a bit of my background. My sole advice here is never, ever forget about that core problem that you want to solve. If you really have felt it, like this is what I want to change, keep that. And never let someone argue you differently, or if they really can't, if they can't change your perspective or demotivate you. But okay, it's too hard. When I started in education, it was the least sexiest industry as an entrepreneur to start. People would make fun of me with valuations, like the lowest ones are always given to the edtech companies, if they would have even get to that point, right? That's sort of the industry. But that shouldn't matter. Like the problem that you want to solve, be very persistent there. However, be extremely open to how you think that problem should be solved, because it's really hard to do this and you're probably wrong, and that doesn't matter. And you have to understand by actually trying something and getting feedback, and trying something, getting feedback, to understand exactly how you iterate at that product market fit phase, at least when it comes to companies. how you do that. So don't ever I would say, if you really understand the problem that you try to solve, don't let that go. But the way that you want to solve it, often you fall in love in that way. That's what you have to let go, and be open to iterate that a lot. At least that is the experience that I've gone through, and that has brought me to where we are right now. And I would say that that is one of the biggest lessons that I think I can share to that audience.